welcome back. You're tuning in to the Knitting Place podcast, podcast for knitting and crocheting. New segment. I'm Dina. You can find me at the Knitting Place on Instagram, the Knitting Place on Facebook, and the Knitting Place on Ravelry.
And I am Pam Sapp on Instagram and Ravelry. Yep.
So thank you for watching. We hit 1,000, Pam. We have 1,000 followers.
1,100 actually.
Actually, 1,100. That's right.
1,100.
So if you like what you see, please subscribe. Continue to follow us.
I don't know about you, Dina, but are your kids impressed? My daughters
actually,
when we had 600, they were like, "Wow, you have 600." It was my sister and brother-in-law. I was like, "Hey, Mom, who wants to listen to you?" Well, there are some people who do like to listen to us, right?
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching, and thank you for liking, right?
Yeah, all the support, the comments.
Well, I think, Dina, when we asked last time, we said, if you want to know anything about us, I think the one comment that we had, or the one question was, you've been here 20 years. Oh, my God, how did you survive 20 years?
That was, yeah.
You know, right? What did you do with your kids? How did you raise 4 kids and have a yarn shop, right?
That. No, there definitely had some great questions, and I tried very hard to answer all of them. I think I did. I hope I answered everyone's questions.
Can you tell us in a nutshell how you survived for 20 years?
In a nutshell?
In a nutshell.
I think you just have to be able to change with the flow. That's really what it's all about. You can't
stay
stagnant.
Right.
You definitely can't. Changing. It's constantly changing.
And then there was a very cute question. I was trying to think what the answer to this was. Someone asked you, are there any old patterns that come back? But there are some, and there was one recently, and we were talking about it, and I can't remember what it was.
As far as like styles, I think like kids wears, like I feel like the children's patterns, we certainly have a lot of them that have just been classic through the years. But as far as adult sweaters, can you really put your finger on one? I really can't. I feel like we've modified them as
I think that's modified. More the word. They do
get
modified, yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, back in the late 90s, after you first opened, what was very, very popular was the big chunky yarn at the time. Right.
And now that's made a comeback.
And that's made a comeback now too, right? Yeah. And we've seen colors come and colors go, right?
Absolutely.
Popular colors.
It's interesting. I don't know.
But you try to stay current, you know, with the trends.
Right. I love what Joan says. How many times can you reinvent the wheel? It's true. It's true. You know?
And she'll say, well, why do they do it this way? I said, because they want to write something differently. Absolutely. It's already been done the other way, so. Right. You know, that's why you have a top-down sweater, a sideways sweater, a bottom-up sweater, right? Right.
And everything has been done, but, you know, just with a different twist.
And listen, I don't know. I'm sure that, you know, us knitters, we always like to learn a new technique.
For sure.
You know.
It's always exciting when you learn
whether it's a short rows, a German short row versus
short rows?
A wrap and turn short row, right? Or a different cast on, right?
Crazy.
It's fun.
It's all good. Absolutely.
Which brings us to, what's our first discussion?
Our first note, we're going to do FOs.
Ooh, I think you have more of an FO than me.
Right. Well, I should say the FO actually is, let me show you what my FO is. I'm wearing it. I'll take my shawl off, and I think I do have to stand. Yep. And I did give this a better blocking, although I didn't
look at Dina. Turn around.
I finished my Tegna.
She finished her Tegna. Isn't that gorgeous? And what yarn did you use?
Yeah. I used Squishy. Let me go get some, actually.
Yeah.
We've got some new colors.
Squishy is from Anzula.
Anzula, although you can use any yarn.
Any fingering, yeah.
Right.
Well, we chose Anzula because it always has such a... It lives up to its name. It's squishy, right?
It's definitely squishy. We've got beautiful new colors. It takes 3 skeins to make the garment. We had a wonderful event this week. We should fill everybody in on the Kristy Glass event. That was so much fun.
If you missed it, there's no place where that is live.
We had a live. We did a live, actually. Stephanie from Asylum Fibers was so sweet. She offered to tape for us. I need to move my chair over. That didn't sound so good. I'm breaking the chair.
Can you get in there?
Yes.
Yeah, Stephanie came in and she taped it live, so it went on an Insta story, but that only lasts for 24 hours. And we're not very techie.
I couldn't save the video.
We tried to save it.
I'm so sorry, guys. I really did try, and it was a wonderful video. We had so many positive reviews.
But we have some still pictures of it, right?
Yes, and I'm gonna actually do a little album at the end. If you want to stay tuned at the end of the video, I will certainly put in some of the pictures that were shared with me.
But what was Kristy? What did she do?
So it was, we did a Boyland Knitworks trunk show. All of the things that Kristy Glass has knit from Caitlin Hunter, and she's certainly a big fan, as we are, although we certainly don't have as many garments knit up as Kristy.
Oh, please.
So she was gracious enough to come and share all of her garments with us and speak and give us tips and tricks about her, I guess, her navigation through all the knitting patterns.
And she had also just interviewed her.
Right, which was awesome. It was just really... It was great closure in a way, because she went on a journey. She went to visit her, and she absolutely adores her.
How many samples did she have?
Oh, I didn't even count.
I'm trying to think. I'm not going to stop and count now because it'll take too long. But she had Sunset Highway and Zweig.
It was Zweig and a half, because she's
in the middle of another one. She had Tecumseh.
Yes, she had the Swan Show.
She had the Swan Show.
Nilchik, Nilchina. She had Kobuk. And then we had somebody from the audience, Susan Crow. Yeah. Thank you, Susan, for letting us borrow your Codicus shawl, because Stephanie had hers out on loan.
She had a hat, too. Didn't she have a hat?
Her Tegna.
Yeah. You said that.
Yes.
You said.
So she had a lot.
What was the one she was...
And then...
What was that one called?
The main event was she steeked. I think that was the...
Yeah, that was the exciting part. I think everybody was like, oh, my God.
Yeah. That was unbelievable. She did it
live. It while she was
I held it. It was crazy.
She prepared it ahead of time. She did the crochet down, but she actually took the scissors to it in front of everybody that was here.
I was so floored. It was unbelievable.
So if you go on her Instagram now, you'll see her, because now she's doing the finishing and she's putting the ribbon behind the steeking.
Yes.
And she's adding the buttons to it. She got
a pretty like Lisa Frank ribbon.
Because she said her colors were inspired by Lisa Frank.
Right.
So if you can pick that up on her Instagram story,
you would definitely see it.
Right.
Yeah,
and Dina will try to put some pictures in.
I definitely will put some pictures, and it was really special.
It was a fun
We
event.
had a huge shout out from Caitlin Hunter.
Yes,
she wrote the sweetest post. If you go to Boyland, it works to her Instagram page. She was really moved, and it was
everyone's interest.
It was really feel good all over, and everyone was happy, and.
It's always nice to have a successful event, but the thing with it, as Kristy said, it's the community, the community of knitters getting together and supporting each other and,
inspiring each other, just sharing
Yeah.
support.
Right.
It's just fun. Everybody coming together. It was really.
It we even had a man. We even had a man in the audience.
Yes, Giuseppe.
Which was fun.
Thank you for coming.
So anyway, that was the big news that happened here of late.
Yes. So that was definitely an inspiring week, and we've certainly sold a lot of squishy this week, or even, we've sold silk, we've sold the fingering weight in Madeline Tosh, really any yarn. You just need to kind of get
silent fibers.
Yes. So that was fun. So hopefully we've inspired you to maybe knit another Caitlin Hunter, and we will move on.
You'll certainly be inspired after you see the pictures that you post.
For sure.
Of all the samples.
Yeah, the pictures at the end will be great, so
Correct.
Stay tuned.
Correct.
Alrighty, shall we move on to whip?
Sure.
Where did you start?
Oh, my whip. My whip is almost an FO, but not quite. I said I was going to have it done by the end of May, but last week was a crazy week, so...
Want to help you hold it?
Sure. I'll just watch I'll hold this part with the needles. Here you go.
Let me hold it so that we could put the ends in the back.
There you go.
How pretty is this?
How pretty is that?
I absolutely love.
Let me just hold my two tails down here at the end. You see my little
and
tails?
Will kill me if I lose these stitches.
Yeah, especially in the lace, I'll kill you if you drop those stitches.
I won't. I promise. Look at how gorgeous.
Isn't that pretty?
These are not the most beautiful colors.
In case you don't know, this is the Suburban wrap by Joji Locatelli.
We'll write it down at the bottom of the screen.
And I used a combination of Madeline Tosh Light and Hedgehog Sock.
And unless you guys have some of these colors buried, you will never...
You can't duplicate this.
No. It's retired colors from Madeline Tosh.
This is, I think, coral, and this color down here is teddy bear.
So pretty.
I do only have 2 sections. I have to repeat this stripe section, and I have to repeat this textured section and the ribbing, and it's done. But I will say,
it's beautiful.
I noticed that some people, when I looked on Ravelry, they said they added sections to it, and I think
to make it longer.
To make it longer, and I think the thing is, her gauge on this, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it says 16 stitches on sock weight yarn. I'm sure that's after blocking, but still, it's a rather loose gauge. So I think the finished length on this, she says, is 74 inches. So I said to Dina, if I'm at 74, I could just add another section.
Just add another section.
Yeah. I mean, as long as I have the yarn for it. And it takes one skein of each color.
Love.
So this is my almost FO, or my whip, that I'm working on.
I only have one whip with me. It's my Morning Sky.
Oh, this is pretty.
I will show it to you.
It's a lovely
by Heidi
summer
Kirrmaeir.
Piece. Yep.
Yeah, I've really been into my little summer knits.
Look at that, guys.
So I don't know if you can see it, but there's the little scallop bottom. She calls it a bear claw or bear paw.
I like your markers going up the side, Dina.
Yeah.
Look at that, Dina marked
My increases.
Her increases.
And then I have it across the yoke, which I just got through that section. There are so many stitches on the needle.
What I like about this pattern is, if you notice, Dina cast on for her sleeves, but the pattern that goes across the yoke continues across the sleeve edge.
Yeah, it's going to be a very pretty
which
detail.
Is a little different.
It'll be interesting to see where this actually hits. I feel like I'm a little busty.
Well,
and I know Joan advised not to put the pattern across. The pattern calls for it going across the yoke. But because I'm chesty, I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's fine. I mean, it's a solid. It's not a stripe.
Correct.
It's not like it's a different color.
No.
The
it's
lace
just
work.
texture across the
bust. I think it's
so.
fine. And you're using what? Twig?
I'm using twig from Shibui. A nice linen yarn. Linen blend yarn.
Yep.
And, yeah, it'll be nice. Hopefully I'll have it done for the next podcast.
I should also say that I'm working on a top called Shakerag.
Yes.
From, I think it's Amy Christoffers. Yeah, and I could talk about my trials and tribulations with this, of course.
God, you got to hear this one, guys.
but of course, as you can see, I don't have that much. Wait, I don't want my stitches.
Why don't you have that much done?
Well, I
she
will
took
tell
this
you.
away with her on Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, I was away for a couple of days. What is? And I don't want to lose my stitches. There we go. Okay.
You're in that.
Yeah, I'm not. Anyway, so this is all I have done. But it's in the round. So, I mean, there are about 220 stitches on the needle right now. And I'm using Reed from Shibui. And I decided, if you look at the pattern on Ravelry, it is striped, 2-color striped. And I decided, I think we talked about this on the last podcast, I wanted to keep it in 1 color.
Yeah, monochrome.
So I did a single strand, double strand kind of a thing is what I'm doing. But my trial with this was, you cast on the bottom and you work a garter stitch in the round, which we all know is a round of knit and a round of purl, which I did. And I was a little ways up, and I decided I felt my knitting had gotten sloppy because, you know, you pick it up, you put it down. It wasn't even, so I took it off the needle. And taking it off the needle, I realized that my gauge was a little too loose, so I felt it would stretch. So I said, I'm ripping it out. So I ripped it out and recast on. And when I recast on, of course, I know the pattern, right? I don't have to look at it because I know it. So I started doing the garter stitch, but I started with a knit round instead of a purl round, which makes a difference at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? I've done 4 rows. I'm taking it out. Recast on 220 stitches again. This time, I'm knitting, knitting, knitting. Now I'm in the stockinette section, and I realize that I am twisted.
Oh, gosh.
At this point, I was in the car on the way home on Memorial Day weekend. I was ready to throw it out the window. My whole weekend was, because my other thing was the Suburban wrap, but I was in such a place that, you know, you had to pay more attention to what you were doing with counting, with the lace and
you were
all
with
that.
Lucy.
Right, and I said, that's not going to happen.
Really
I'm going to make mistakes, so that's why I worked on that. I was so annoyed. So what I decided to do is forget this in the round business. I cast on, and I just knit straight for a couple of rows. And I'm just going to sew a little seam. Then I joined it. And I also changed my needle size. I have to say, I went down a size. And
that's okay. I mean, we often, you know, I was just watching an interview. I think Kristy Glass interviewed, who was it? It's in a shop, I think, in Michigan.
Oh, yes. It was wool.
Woolly Bully?
I don't know if it's Woolly. I don't think it's Woolly Bully. It was wool something. It was about 2 weeks ago she had it on her channel.
Very cute.
I saw
Owner
that.
is lovely. And she was saying, patterns are suggestions.
That's right. Exactly
and
what she
she's
said.
absolutely right.
You can't live and die by the pattern.
Definitely not. Right. And you decided to cast on and do a little bit of garter and join it.
And because I went down in needle size and it was all knit, I don't know, for me, in the round, a row knit or row purl is not as tight as if I'm just straight in garter stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt, after having taken it off the needle, I felt that although the piece has 4 to 8 inches of positive ease, I felt that it was going to stretch. So I tightened up on that garter stitch bottom, and I'm much, much happier with it now. Again, you forget the pain. A week later, at the time I was annoyed.
Like childbirth.
Exactly, like childbirth. But now, hopefully when I get the Suburban rep, then I'll be able to concentrate on that.
So don't be afraid to deviate from the pattern.
Right.
I mean, on the Deshane, I did not want to pick up stitches and do that in the round sleeves.
So you did them straight?
I did them straight. I picked up, I did them straight. Yep.
I mean, listen, again,
some customers,
that's why people make changes in patterns.
Absolutely.
They want to do something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Some customers aren't comfortable picking up stitches, and they're not comfortable. We offer finishing here in the shop, right. And a lot of customers don't want to put the sweater together, and they don't want to wait for it because it's a very timely piece, the linen t-shirt. So they're just casting on, and we'll sew the sleeves in for them, and that's okay.
Right. Yeah, you can't
live and die by the by the instructions.
And so, sometimes that's how you learn. You can do things 2 ways or 3 different ways.
You gain a different kind of confidence.
Right.
Right. Your end result is actually, in essence, really the same.
Of course. No one's going to know that I sewed an inch seam at the bottom of that sweater. It doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't matter. It's really what the bottom line is. All righty.
And that's all I have, I think.
Yeah, I didn't bring much today.
Mm-hmm.
So I traveled light. All right. So should we talk about the new sample we have in the shop?
Sure. Why not? It's been very popular, actually.
Yes, we've sold quite a few. So some of you may have seen this. I posted this on Instagram. This is called the Norwegian fur.
Isn't that adorable?
So cute. And it's by OG Knitwear Designs. And we use, I don't know if you can tell, it's got a little bit of a sparkle. I'll try to angle it.
It has a little bit of stellina in it. It's ever so subtle, but it's cute.
It's you kind of see it more. Yes. I'll show you the different colors here. You can hold that.
Yeah. And what size was this again? The second size?
I think it was the 6 to 12 month size. Mm-hmm. It took 4 skeins, and Joan
you can see that
sweet
sparkle
enough.
In there a little bit. Yep.
Joan was nice enough to knit the sample for us, and we have it in several colors: the ivory, the hot pink. This is like a blush nude.
It's getting a little washed out under the lights. That looks better farther away, actually.
Farther away.
You can see more of the color.
It's more like a nude.
Mm-hmm.
We have navy, dark gray, and light gray.
It's lovely. That's pretty.
And there's also the red.
Now this is for the people that
the
like
mustard,
color.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So this is actually a red as opposed to the pink that's over here. So you can't really tell, but there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been really popular.
It has been. She also has
top
a piece
down matching dress, if I'm not mistaken.
It's called Little Rosebud, or something like that, which is the same stitch pattern here. It's all garter stitch. It's like a little A-line tunicky dress.
Yeah, very cute.
Very cute as well.
So if you need a little girl sweater, that's
cute.
Been very cute. Yeah. And then we also have, babies
patterns seem to, well, we thought we'd show a few baby patterns today because we do a lot of, we often show adult things, but we wanted to show some.
We're very strong in the baby field,
the
baby department. So this is a pretty little blanket. It's done using Sublime baby cash merino. You can certainly use Zara or any DK weight yarn.
Mm-hmm. Go close up with that.
I don't know if you could tell.
That's a good color. That's a good color. It's cream and gray and like a rosy
lilac,
pink. Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Very pretty. And it's got a combination of garter stitch and stockinette stitch. We haven't come up with a name for this blanket yet, but
if you have any suggestions, let Dina know.
Yeah, leave us a comment.
We'd love to hear.
Pam is thinking of calling it tracks. Does it remind you of tracks?
That's what I thought. But
as in TRAX.
Of course, we can't do TRACKS.
No.
Anyway.
Think of like tire tracks.
I'm sure you'll get some good suggestions.
I hope so.
They had some good names for you that time when we asked them for names. But anyway, that's the
baby blanket.
Latest baby blanket sample in the shop, correct? Any other baby things?
Well, we have some...
is there another baby thing, or is that it?
Baby news.
Oh, we do have baby news, yes. So yes, I have to tell you, for those of you who follow, Lucy is going to have a baby sister.
Woohoo!
Hooray.
Pam's going to be knitting some more baby things.
Okay.
Are they going to be hand-me-downs? Actually, is it the same season?
Well, for the little sweater, home from the hospital is okay that she wore, that she could wear. And that cable coat, the Paxton, and the cable coat that I made is so oversized and big that
I'm sure that'll be.
I'm sure she'll get use out of that.
Worn and handed down.
But we do. Emily has asked me for, and she showed me a picture of it for Lucy, a vest. And you're gonna like this, Dina. The vest
blue
is
sky with the
no. It's a granny square vest.
Oh,
like
how
the whole
cute.
thing is a granny square.
So
with different colors.
Cute.
And the reason I haven't done anything with it is, what yarn what colors do you want? Do you want me to use a variegated yarn that changes color? I think she wants separate colors. So I don't know. I don't know what.
Does she want every granny square to be the same?
Well, it's only one big one. There's only one big one in the front and a big one in the back. And there are a couple of different colors. This is like a big one. I don't know how it's joined. I haven't looked that carefully at it, but that's what she wants. Cute. I don't know. How long can that take? I mean, a granny square.
Granny square? Come on, crochet.
To cover a 1-year-old, we can whip that up exactly. The thing is the colors. What colors does she want? And the other thing I told her I would make Lucy, because she really seems to wear this a lot, is ponchos. It's so cute. It's like Emily's go-to. She'll throw a poncho over her before she'll put the sweater on.
Okay.
So I said, you know what, Emily? I should make you for the
one
full
over the head
poncho. The one she has, it's like that. You know that big black and white check design, almost like a lumberjack,
like a houndstooth.
Like you have red and black.
Yes.
But only hers is cream and black.
Okay.
And it's got a little bit of a hood in the back, but it goes over the head, and it's just like stitched over here on the sides, and her arms go through it.
Is it like the same silhouette as the puddle jumper, but with a hood?
Maybe something like that.
I could see her in puddle jumper.
Yeah, that would be so cute too. But anyway, so we have to work on that going forward. So.
And what about for the new baby?
Well, listen, I always, let me know what you want. Remember, I started that gray sweater, that Brooklyn tweed, like an old
blanket.
Blanket, yes, that I never finished. That was also out of Enzula.
So
it was cricket, I think, right?
Just finish that up.
I've got maybe this much done. That I should finish.
The quickest way to get an FO. Finish this.
Although we have decided, I think I am going to crochet for her a blanket. She saw a few crochet blankets that she liked. And speaking
She's into crochet, the vest, the blanket.
That's a very good lead-in, Dina.
Okay. Drum roll, please.
It was unintentional, but she did see some crochet blankets that she liked.
Well, we did say we wanted to do a crochet segment, so I guess this is a perfect...
This is our crochet segment.
There you go. You want to start?
Well, we've mentioned before that we all crochet. Dina and I and Joan crochet. And
Barbara.
And Barbara, that's correct. And Barbara's a lefty, but she crochets righty, doesn't she? Joan is a lefty who crochets lefty. And we're both righties. But did you want to start with things we've crocheted? Like,
yes.
This is an FO of mine that's been crocheted.
What's it called?
It's called the Juliana. Is that what it's called? The Juliana? And look how pretty that is. I'm going to give that a pull down in the center, Dina.
How gorgeous is this?
This I used Madeline Tosh Light for. This section, the mesh section, was trodden, which is a discontinued color. And I cannot tell you what that center color is. Unless you can do that, Dina.
I don't remember.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember. But anyway, this was a fun piece to crochet.
Very pretty. I love the lace border. I love the edging.
And then the edging. Look at that edging on the bottom.
So pretty.
How much fun is that? This was a fun piece to knit. To crochet. Excuse me. So this is an FO crochet of mine. And Dina has one on that she designed.
This is called the Spider Shawl.
I think so.
I don't know what I called it. Spider Shawl. Because it kind of reminds me of a spider web.
Mm-hmm.
And I will open it up for you. And maybe you can kind of see what we're talking about.
The open work on that. Isn't that pretty? And what did you use for this?
We used Quagu.
1, 2, 3, 4,
8.
8 skeins.
8 skeins of Quagu.
Look at that from a distance, guys. Look how pretty that is.
It's so much fun. And the beauty with Quagu is that you use the skein and you pick up random colors, and you know, when you wear it, one just folds into the next. I mean, I'm wearing a pink top in Anzula, and one of the colors, I mean, it would go really with anything. If I was wearing burgundy, turquoise jeans, I mean, I happen to be wearing
And the fun part
jeans.
about making these shawls is that picking the colors is always so much fun. We have the
But you could really just go blind.
We always go have crazy discussions about how, I've moved this around.
I have major angst.
Move it here, move it. But, you know, it always ends up looking beautifully. Now, can I ask you a question? I know that when we did that other piece, because the rows are long, if you ran out in the middle of the row,
didn't matter.
You just picked up the next color. Is that what you did on this as well?
I don't think so. I think I did it for a certain number of repeats.
You probably did a certain number of repeats on it. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So it's a free pattern. It's mine.
Yep.
It's called the Spider Shawl. If you want
to destash, if you have some, it doesn't have to be Quaigu. It could be anything. You could do it all in one color if you want.
Yes, you definitely can do it all in one color.
I mean, if you have that at home and you have some yarn that you want to purpose for something.
Mm-hmm. But the beauty with the Quaigu, I personally feel, is one color. Yes, and I like that when one color bleeds into the next. For example, this is like a heavy maroon wine color, and this one has just a little bit. Color. I know.
Isn't that a great? I'm looking at these colors now. You know, we really have to do more of this.
This is so much fun. So it's
and
fun
crocheting
to crochet.
Goes quickly, which is nice. But you have something over there too that was that's a different stitch. It's a different
stitch.
You wore this one
another
one
Dina. That I designed. It's called Color Me Blind, and my original one was a lot bolder and brighter. I don't know if I could see
really?
it there in my samples. One? Yeah.
Oh, was that the one that had oranges in it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, you going to look for it?
No, I was just going to put that one on.
Yeah, this you wore a lot.
So this is another cowl.
Also goes with what you're wearing today.
Also with Quaigu.
Yeah.
And very pretty, easy to wear.
How great is that?
A fun crochet.
Yep.
And I was just going to look up to see. This one took 6 skeins.
Mm-hmm.
So not as cumbersome. It's a cowl. I'm sure you can
sew that together and make it
just
a cowl.
Be a little too long. And this stitch is different.
Now, did this you do in the round, or did you sew it? I think you sewed it.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But again, a free pattern.
Doesn't make a difference.
We sewed it. Yes, we did.
A free pattern.
And
we're going to show
Color Me Blind.
Now, this one is another FO that we did. And this one is called, we kind of gave this our own name. We called it, I don't know where we got
Tulip Scarf.
Tulip Scarf. Maybe inspired by the stitch, I don't know. But this is a fun piece. And I'll show it to you a little close up. Now, the way we did this is you'll say, what color did you use? Well, what we did is we used 3 different colors of Quaigu, and we did a row in color 1, a row in color 2, a row in color 3. And we just carried it down for about 12, I don't know, until we ran out of yarn.
Basically.
Right? And you can see the bottom has a little
start
scallop.
Crocheting with the pattern.
We've done this with a lot of people.
Yes, it's like a beginner project.
Because this you need to know chaining, single crochet, and double crochet, and those are really the basics.
If I open it up, maybe you can see the stitch. So it's very pretty.
This is a great scarf, and it's also nice to make as a gift because, again, I don't know if you feel this way, doesn't crochet go quickly?
It does. It moves
Like
fast.
If you were going to crochet a scarf for someone versus knit a scarf,
you can get that done. I mean, when you think of 3 skeins, what is it, 175 yards?
So it's maybe 500 yards, a little more.
Right, but you could crochet that in a week. But to knit fingering in a week,
Forget it.
Get that done in a couple of days.
Now, Dina has something to show you. We have a lot of crochet pieces here in the shop, but we're just showing you a few of them. Which is true.
True.
Not one.
This is called the Porcelain Berry Shawl. I think we've discussed this one before in previous podcasts.
I think you know where you discussed this? You wore it on an unboxing.
Oh, that's where it came up.
It wasn't on a podcast, though.
Yeah. So I think this is a pattern for purchase on Ravelry. It's called Porcelain Berry Shawl, and I'll put the link in the show notes.
And I think, do they use Millie? This is Millie Calori.
This is Millie Calori by Wang, and we have a few skeins that we could show you. It's a self-striping yarn. So even though it looks like we changed colors, we actually didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The yarn just self-stripes.
Right.
And with the pattern, it just gives that effect. And we added the lollipop
It didn't come. We saw it on Ravelry.
We saw it on Ravelry. They didn't have the notes, so I just came up with a lollipop fringe. And if you're interested in having that detail, you certainly can email me. I'll be happy to share my notes and modifications on that. This is fun.
Was it like 4 or 5? 4 skeins.
4 skeins. I think a lot of people decided to make it slightly larger, and they went with 5 because it's actually just a pattern repeat.
Yep.
So you could make it as long as you want.
But how great is that? Look at this, guys.
It's very attractive.
I have a scarf underneath, but
very attractive on.
How
and very
nice
playful with the little lollipop fringe.
Yeah, it's a great piece. And
so
again,
you can actually leave that on.
You want me to leave it? Let me take this one.
You know why? Because Pam and I are thinking about doing a crochet along.
We're not thinking about it.
We are.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Actually, I should say, we didn't talk about this, but we have talked about it before. We want to do this knit along, crochet along. Right. But then there's another one that we want to do. Remember, you brought the pattern back from
oh my
EYF.
God. Yes.
So what we really should do, this should be our summer crochet along, and then we should do that for the fall.
For the fall. I mean, that would be fun.
I forget what it's called. You want to do it for Rhinebeck, right?
Yes. Yes.
I knew you were going there. Okay. But anyway, how pretty is this?
So that one's called the Porcelain Berry, but that's actually not the project that we are going to be doing our crochet along. So for any of you crocheters out there, if you'd like to join us.
This isn't even a good picture, then.
No, it isn't.
I can bring it up on my phone.
Maybe on the back you could see it. There you go. This one is slightly shaded. Pam is actually going to she's thinking about doing it under solid color.
Well, we thought that maybe we should do it both ways.
We're going to do 2 versions.
A solid
one
version.
One in self-striping, correct, and one in solid. It's called Secret Paths. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will put the link down in the show notes.
Look at how gorgeous this is, guys. Let me show you. This is a better
picture. That's a good picture.
Which one? This one?
That one.
This one?
Yeah.
I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Look at that, guys. Look at that great picture.
Where?
Yeah, I think that's better. Look at that.
That's stunning.
How stunning is that?
It's actually very pretty and solid as well.
It's also pretty and solid.
Yep. Oh, do you want to pull the solid?
Yes.
So I'm thinking about, we have a sample here in the Lang Millie Calori. You can kind of get a vision of what that would look like. Pam is wearing it. But there's a new yarn that just came out.
It's a very pale color. It's like a blush. But again, when you're using the hand-dyed yarns that do have a color variation, we'll show you what we're thinking of doing
like a tonal.
Yeah.
So the Lang Millie Calori Luxe.
Who doesn't need a little bling in their life?
We're going to add a little sparkle. So I'm thinking of doing this colorway. So if you care to join along.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many yards is it?
We think it's around 1,000 to 1,200.
1,200
in that area. Because crocheting, does use a third more yarn.
Yeah.
Right.
30% more yarn.
Right.
So crochet lovers, sorry, but your craft is a little bit more expensive.
Exactly. And the yarn that I was thinking of using was Cloud from Anzula. And the color that I think I am doing it in is this gorgeous color. Look at the, I don't know, can you see the I want them to see the shading. Yep. And it's really, maybe pull it back a little bit. I don't know. It's darker than it's coming up in the screen. Yeah, that's a little better. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. And that's a little bit, I think Cloud, they say, is...
see the color variation there? Very pretty.
I guess you would call Cloud a lace weight.
Yeah.
So mine will be maybe a little lighter, a little finer. And this has 500.
But we'll have lovely drape.
Yeah, it has 575 yards, and it's an 80-10-10, 80 Marie super.
You're only going to need 2 skeins.
Yeah, I'll only need 2 skeins.
That's
it's a great project, right? So anyway, and the other option to do it also in is Breathless from Shalimar. Again, another fingering that has a little bit of silk in it, and it's hand-dyed, so you get some color variation going on.
That's merino cashmere and silk, right?
Merino cashmere and silk. Right?
And then you can use Anzula. You can use
There's so many different ones.
Superwash. Yeah, any finger.
Oh, the other one that we said for striping was...
this one, Unisono.
Yeah, you have the Unisono there, and I have something else down here, I think.
You can do Unisono. Mm-hmm. This is a lovely self-striping yarn.
Yep.
With different
so you'll get that color change on it as well. Yeah. Look at that. And those are just some of the colorways you can choose from.
And then we have a new yarn in the shop.
Hold that one down?
Sure.
And this is called, it's from
Earth Harvest, and this is called Unique Fingering, and it's got self-striping.
Although it looks variegated,
bandwidth, yes.
Self-striping.
I can actually show the sample.
I was going to say, it's behind us.
Yep, let me go get it.
There's a sample that came in for those of us who enjoy a challenge. And
short row lovers.
And short rows, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, how many pages is the pattern, Dina?
Oh, I don't know.
You printed it out the other day.
How gorgeous is this?
Look at that. This requires a 1 skein of a solid and 2 skeins of, say, one of these.
Right. The Unique Fingering.
Mm-hmm.
The self-striping yarn. This shawl is called Butterfly Papillon. Oh, sorry, guys. I keep banging the table, and I think I'm making the monitor move.
It's gorgeous, though. If you go on Ravelry, you could look it up and see some.
So pretty.
And everyone looks entirely different.
Totally.
Depending on glass, right?
Depending on the color. And it's interesting because the background color, the solid color that you pair it with, also changes the way the whole thing looks.
Exactly. Gives it a whole different look.
Right.
They said in the pattern that your contrast color you should try to make it a color that is not
represented in the skein.
Skein. If you can
so if you were to do black with that, it would make the colors really
fabulous. Yes. I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
nice.
Really pop. So black is a popular.
But another one also to crochet the secret path with would be you could use this, the
Unique Fingering. That'd be very pretty. It's got a nice spring to it. Yeah. It's not so fine.
So anyway, so that's something that Dina and I will be starting, and you will see it on our next podcast. We're not done.
No, but we will have it started. Absolutely. And speaking of...
I've been itching to crochet lately.
Alongs, I am going to be hosting at the end of June. We are going to start the Michele Wang Kailash cardigan. You may have seen it on the last podcast. It's a cabled cardigan. Michele Wang is the designer. So if you are interested in joining in, please come in, pick out your color. We are going to meet during the day.
You're making that out of Mayak?
I'm going to be making my sample. Am I going to let the cat out of the bag?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm doing black.
Ooh.
I'm going really New York.
I know what you're doing.
Black.
You wanted to do black the last time,
I
right?
did.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to do my black. I hope the cables show up.
Oh, I think it will. It's a beautiful color.
A lot of cable work.
It was in our last podcast. It was on the mannequin in the background.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It's a great, beautiful piece.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, come in. We look forward to seeing you and helping you out. All right.
Anything
what else do we have?
I think that's it for crochet, though, no?
That's it.
Yep. I think that's it. Anything else?
No.
Anything to talk about?
Yes. We have a couple of things coming up this week.
Oh,
we do.
You don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Saturday, June 9th. We should, by the way, probably say the date, because by the time this podcast comes out, we're always
today's
a few days later.
Today is June
4th.
4th.
Yeah, so it's Monday, June 4th.
But this will be out before Saturday.
Hopefully it'll be out before Saturday. It needs some tech editing. But we do want to let you all know that Saturday, June 9th, is Worldwide Knit in Public Day. And we are going to be celebrating with the Fairy Lady.
Fairy hair.
Yes,
fairy
hair.
I said to Dina, I need a touch-up. My fairy hair is
I've shed some of my sparkle.
You're still pretty sparkly.
So if you are interested in getting some sparkle or adding a little...
And you live in the area.
Sparkle to your life, you're welcome to come in. Her time slots are filling up. You can sign up through the website. You might need a link. If you do, you can certainly email me if you didn't get an email.
A newsletter.
Newsletter, excuse me. She's going to be here
from 10 to 4. Can they sign up through the website, through our website?
No, if you got the email, so if you're subscribed to my newsletter, which you can do through the website.
A link there. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, call the shop. Or you could give them that. Give them a link.
I know it's actually too long.
It is.
Yeah, but you can call in. We'd be happy to sign you up, and it's 15-minute time slots. Yep. 10 strands.
She has all different colors.
15 strands. Yeah, she matches your hair. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
We also have Loopy Mango coming in. We are excited to have the trunk show from 1 to 4. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've posted this bag, that picture on Ravelry, and her whole, the Loopy Mango Big Cotton collection will be, I hope a lot of it will be here. I'm not sure if all of it, but cropped sweaters, cardigans,
shawls.
Bags, shawls. We're very excited, 1 to 4, so it should be a festive day. We will be sitting outside if you guys want to bring a lawn chair.
We'll have a couple of noshes.
Absolutely. Feel free to bring some nosh. And we look forward to knitting outside with you, so please join us.
That's going to be fun. And what's coming up after next week? That's this weekend. What's happening after this weekend?
Well, we have TNNA. We're
Correct.
going to market, so we will be closed, actually. That will be Friday, June 15th and 16th will be closed. We will reopen on the 18th. Yes, so mark your calendars. We will be closed. We have some guided knitting this month.
Yes, we do. We have guided knitting, and our lace knitting is progressing nicely. I think that the advanced students are up to, they're working on their 6th section, and there are 8 sections.
That's so awesome.
So they're moving right
so
along.
So proud of them.
But then again, we always say there are some people that are still on 1, there are some people on 3, there are some people on...
But that's okay.
And that's fine. It doesn't make a difference. So.
Some people work on more than one project at once.
Exactly.
It's not just lace.
And, you have to work on lace, you have to be in the right environment. It has to be fairly quiet. It's not something you just take in the car. It's car knitting.
Do you have lifelines in your lace panel?
Yes, we have lifelines. We've also done Russian joins.
Oh, wow.
In the middle of the row, right?
Fancy.
We've done cables with
the Russian join when you like...
No, that's the spit splicing.
Spit splice.
We've done...
what's the Russian join? I don't think I know that
The
one.
Russian join is when you come to the end of your yarn. You maybe have a foot left or so. And you're joining a new yarn. You kind of interlock them like this together. And then you thread the needle on one and you kind of feed it through the core on the other side. And you do the same going the other way. And then you pull it. And it gets buried inside of
the yarn?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
How much do you weave in?
Well, they say a couple of inches. Like enough when you're going through the yarn.
Do you go back the other way?
You fill up the yarn needle.
Okay.
That's how much they do. So what that ends up being, 4 inches. You go in
so
one direction,
and
then you take the other end, and you go in the other direction, and you pull it, and it's locked. So you've locked it because you've gone like this. If you can picture the yarns like intertwined.
Like this.
Yep, exactly. And then you've taken the one, and you've gone.
This pointer's going that way. This pointer's going the other way.
Exactly.
And that's enough.
Yeah. And the lovely part of the whole thing is that there are no ends to weave.
That's amazing.
It's fabulous. But, and when you're doing pieces like that,
everyone's confident in the class.
Well, I will say to you, some people haven't done it because they were ready to join and they weren't in the class and they didn't want to wait, or some people they weren't going to do it on themselves. But Grace did the Russian join. I showed it to someone else as well.
She's doing a beautiful job on her shawl.
Beautiful job, and she's also just starting the Suburban wrap.
I think she's found
which
her
also has
forte.
Exactly. And the other thing I should say that we're doing going forward in lace when we're done with this is going to be the Willoughby by Jared Flood.
Ooh,
which is
so
lovely
in the pipeline.
Yes. So
that's in the
pipeline.
A lace class with Pam.
That's later in the year. We'll be doing that. So
stay tuned.
In any event, that's what's going on.
Anything else? We're excited. We're excited to go to market.
We are excited to go to market because, Diana was just saying, we were talking about starting something. I don't know, and I said, why don't you wait until we go to TNNA?
Guys, I have one FO.
Clean up those FOs before TNNA.
Yes, maybe I'll start something there.
Well, that's always a problem, though. And because we'll get there, we'll want to start it.
Needles.
Can you believe in that whole show, you cannot buy... How often does that happen to us? You can't buy a needle.
No, because you know what? They really don't have cash and carry. They're sampling.
Yeah, but I understand that, and it is not cash and carry.
It's not a cash
and carry show. You would think that if you went to one of those people,
it's not like a Vogue Live where you can just.
How frustrating is that?
You have beautiful Indian.
I do now. I have my interchangeables.
Indian Lake,
Indian Creek or Lake. I think it's Indian Lake.
But you have beautiful interchangeables.
I do.
So pack them.
I do have.
They're nice and compact.
I'm going to show them to you if I can find them.
She's traveling with them.
I always have them with me.
Don't leave home without them.
Look at that, how gorgeous. Indian Lake. It's Indian Lake Artisans.
There you go.
And it's just lovely. Well, I'm not going to show it to you, but it's beautiful. So and this is coming from someone that was never a wood knitter. A wood needle knitter.
A wood knitter.
What did I say?
A wood knitter. The end of the day, guys.
You know what I meant. You know what I meant. But anyway, so that's what's happening at the knitting place.
That's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We hope we have
inspired you to crochet. Pick up those hooks.
Definitely.
And if you don't crochet, you should learn how to do a little bit, and then you can do the tulip scarf.
That's really a beginner project. Yeah. Not hard. Crocheting is fun. You get immediate results. Exactly. So for all of you people out there who need immediate gratification, crocheting could be right for you.
And the thing I was going to say, a lot of people tend to crochet like baby blankets. That's the most common thing.
Definitely.
But if you crochet, look at the beautiful things you can make too. There are some other beautiful
things. It's actually also amazing for finishing touches.
Yes.
We do a lot of finishing touches with crochet. We'll do, as a matter of fact, a button band, but even just this blanket here that has
nice
so many ends.
A lot of nice tailored
I don't know if you could tell, it has just a very basic single crochet and a crab stitch. Can you see that? I'll put it against Pam. Yeah.
That's my hand
there you go. Yeah. So it makes a beautiful edging. We do
it on sweaters. And the other thing, when you buy a pattern, and it's a knit pattern, they have a knit button band because it's a knit pattern. But they're not going to assume that because you knit, you can crochet. So they wouldn't mix the two crafts in one pattern. But what we do a lot of times is we will finish with crochet. Why, Dina? Because
it has more of a stabilized band.
You can make it look a lot neater.
Especially when you're knitting a buttonhole in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're doing the one row buttonhole.
Yeah, it makes
buttonholes
are always so much easier to do.
Yeah, but they're always so sloppy looking.
Right.
They look stretched out. Sometimes you need to tweak it with a little stitch.
Do you want me to get a sweater that has a crocheted band?
Sure.
The last thing we're going to
show Norwegian fur, but that has no button bands. Yeah. So it's definitely more stabilized. We have more control over it. It lays beautifully.
Do a lot of crochet finishing.
Definitely. So if you do know how to crochet, we always like to offer that as a substitute. So here's a button band, and you could see the hole, and it's not loosey-goosey, so to speak. And I can button it for you so you can see what it looks like. And I know some people don't like the contrast between crochet and knitting, but most often I don't think you could really...
I don't think you could even tell.
You can't really tell.
Well, sometimes
we want a knit border.
Yeah,
for
if
sure.
we have the ribbing going around, especially on an adult sweater, I prefer it to be following ribbing. But when you're doing a little kid sweater,
it's definitely nice.
And in this one, here's another version of it done in a contrast. You can see how nice it looks. And then it has a hood. And the hood, the crochet just went up around the hood. It followed
which is really cute. It has the ties in it.
Yeah. So it finishes off the sweater nicely. So if you do have the ability to crochet,
definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it's something you could add to your sweaters if you want to.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so that's our crochet for today.
Crochet for today. Is there a magazine, Crochet Today?
Yeah, yes, exactly. That is, yeah.
All right, guys, thank you. We're actually going to tune out right now. I think we tried to tune out before, but we didn't. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.
Please like, leave comments if you'd care to, and that's it.
If you have any suggestions for the name of that pattern, please let us know.
Yes, please comment below.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye now.